We have a deadline at the end of January, and if we don't have it, this farm's going on the open real estate market. But on a global level, you know, there's a race, and we're all running. It's not like a regular farm. It's 27 acres. It's in a little microclimate. You're in the rain shadow of the Olympics in the Cascade Mountains.
On Madrona Farm, the things that we do that may be different than a lot of commercial agricultural operations is we do a lot of cover cropping to maintain biological diversity and healthy soil. One of the techniques that we use is flame weeding. So flame weeding is it's a flame-driven method that replicates what herbicides do.
My grandparents lived in Ladysmith, and they had the 3 boys in Ladysmith. In 1951, they moved down. They bought Madrona Farm.
David and I's love can move mountains. We've helped form a community association. We've been protesting developments together. We've kept, you know, a lot of development out of the ALR.
In 1984. My dad and his 2 brothers came on title. It was worth $400,000 when it was assessed. The problem comes with the next pass down of succession, and this is often what happens, is that from the $400,000 to the $2.5 million that it's worth now, the brothers want it out.
So we have about, let's say, $900,000 to raise in the next 4 months.
In the case of Madrona Farm, we have a really wonderful, hard-working couple that have made this farm what it is, but they don't own the land. And they have no real tenure on this land in that it can be sold out from underneath them at any point.
Today is our 2nd annual Chef Survival Challenge. This is an event, it's a fundraiser to meet our 3rd financial goal, but it is also a yearly event where we're having 13 of some of the finest chefs in Victoria come. They do an obstacle course, they pick their vegetables, and they create a masterpiece which we later auction off. So we are tying together the destiny of chef and farmer because they both have a common denominator, and that is the protection of local farmland.
I'm here to participate in the Chef's Challenge. To run around and humiliate myself for a good cause. I love Madrona Farm. I use them almost exclusively in the winter.
It was intense. It was intense. It got a little rough out there. Chefs tend to be pretty competitive and also pretty out of shape, so it makes for a dangerous combination.
The community is raising the funds on behalf of the Land Conservancy. So the Land Conservancy is the vehicle that can hold the property in trust forever. It is not a government agency and it's not a corporation, it is a trust, and all they do is hold land.
And so we settled with the Land Conservancy because they were ultimately the best organization to hold the title of the property, because they would protect not only the ecological values but also the agricultural integrity, and they could do that in perpetuity.
There are a number of things threatening food security and biodiversity in Canada. Obviously, one of those big things is the loss of good agricultural land for development, either for homes or for industrial development.
I think there's a problem, and that's that we have to put so much effort into protecting something as important as local produce. You know, I mean, this is something that our governments talk about all the time, about protecting our interests in terms of food security and local food, but our economic system just isn't allowing for that kind of protection.
The other thing that's affecting our food security has been the reliance on oil and transporting of foods over long distances to Canada.
We just have to be more sustainable. We can't rely on getting food from the U.S. and other countries. It's just, this is really important to Vancouver Island.
Wherever you'll go, it seems that people are recognizing the need to buy good local food and to produce good local food that's safe and edible. Finally, there's the impacts of climate change.
The kids of tomorrow they're inheriting a big web of problems. And, you know, I suffer a lot, you know. I call it global grief. I have global grief. But because of these people, you know, and the lengths they're willing to go to protect the farm, the talents, their ideas, their creativity, it's like I have faith.
You know, we have 4,000 or 5,000 customers who shop regularly at the roadside.
We definitely this year kind of made a pledge to ourselves to try and buy more organic, more local produce, and so obviously this place fills both, and so it's been great. And it's excellent produce. So
all those people are there, and you look at an event like today with the Chef Survival, and it's the magnitude of the community support and involvement in here which makes this such a success. And that's the beauty of it all, is that all of these people involved, most of them are customers. Most of these are people that we feed every day, and people are so on board to protect it, because at the core of everybody there is the through the forest and over the river to grandmother's house we go in the little forest, right? And that's just disappeared for so many people. But this sort of, you know, it shows that it's still possible to have that, you know, the earth in the middle of the city to feed people.
The spirit of the times. There's an alternative thing coming. We're close to a tipping point, and our current worldview is not working. Right now, I think we need organizers and leaders, people who can perceive the problems and the solutions and organize people together. Everybody has a contribution in this lifetime.
This thing that we're trying to do with you know, farming the land sustainably and providing food locally is something that we have to do outside of our system, outside of our economic system.
I see a ripple effect, and if only you know, the ripple down the peninsula is only one thing, but I do see corridors all over the world. Maybe we can connect them all together.